Hello, welcome to Ilimjo Tech. My name is Parvez Ilimjo and today we are going to study two questions. The two questions that are really important. If you remember in our previous video we studied on what is ICND1 and what are the topics that we are going to cover. In this video we are gonna go ahead and see two questions. I name it two questions because most of the people, whenever they start their career at Cisco, that's the two questions that everyone asks. What is data networking and who is Cisco? Because everyone is gonna start Cisco and they're gonna start learning that what is Cisco and how Cisco works. So the first question that they really have to know is who is Cisco? And data networking, that what is data networking? What is networking actually? Or what is network? So these are the two questions that everyone asks all the time. So let's see what are they. First question, data networking or what is networking or what is network? That's the first question that everyone asks whenever they start their networking career. So as I told you before in my previous video, that if you really want to understand the full concepts of networking and you want to have more and more information, you can go with CompTIA Network Plus training, because it's going to give you more knowledge on network technologies, terminologies, each and everything theoretically. So there are many terms for the network. You know what, when I started to learn networking in 2004, the first question that my trainer asked me, he told me that what is network? I say the communication between two or more computers is called network. That's what my answer was. At that time he just told me, no, that's not how it works, because I'm asking you network, I'm not asking you computer network. So whenever you say network, network can be computer network, network can be telephone network, network can be television's network, radio's network, because those all things are like a network. Like how your television works nowadays, it works through the cable, coaxial, something like a coaxial cable that we connect in the back of our television, or we just connect it through the internet or whatever thing. It gets all its signals from the television station, and then there's the different stations that every television have, and then everyone is having connectivity. Same with the radio network. Like how does radio network work? Like how it gets signals, gets all its signals from radio stations. So all those are like a network. But in here we are talking about the data network or computer network. So in order to make a computer network, first we need to know what is data networking. It's a modern form of communication for humans, that's what we can say. Because if you remember in old days, what was happening, that if I just want to send an email, I just want to send something to the other person, what I was doing was I was just using different method of communication. Like I was writing something down. What I was doing, I was just going to the post office and then putting it in there, and it was reaching like 5 days, 10 days, depending on the distance. So what is happening now, a modern form of communication for humans, that's a data networking. So what are they doing is, like if I want to send something to someone, what I'm doing, I'm using data networking. Like I'm sending an email, through that email, whenever I'm typing something, I'm sending it, and what's happening, like the email is going in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, depending on the speed of the network. So it's a modern form of communication between humans. So humans are using technology to communicate with each other. Like what they do nowadays, like they use mobile phones, they just talk to each other. That's a modern form of communication. Like if they want to share something, if they want to send letter to each other or whatever they want, what are they doing is they're using technology, they're using data networking to do that. So it's a modern form of communication for humans. or you can say that it's an infrastructure to transfer resources. Like if you want to transfer some resources, like you want to transfer your data, you want to transfer some files, you want to transfer some any other type of informations, like they can be email, it can be data, it can be files, it can be videos, whatever thing you want, it can be pictures. So what are they doing is they're using data networking to do that, to transfer their resources. Or you can say connecting different devices together to share resources. You're connecting different devices together and making it work so that one PC or one person can send an email to another person, one person can send the data from one place to another place. What are you doing is you're putting different type of networking devices in the middle so that it's making it work. It's making it in a way that you can send and receive data. Because like if I'm sitting in one country, like I'm sitting in USA and there is another person sitting in the London, I cannot say that in order to send an email from USA to London there is only one device. There are different devices that are connected together in order to share the resources. So as you can see in the diagram, I have got two computers that are connected to a switch, and there is a router, and then there is an IP address. Like every device that is part of the network, every device that is part of the network requires an IP address. IP address is like the address through which you can know that you can call that device. For example, humans have their name. Like if I want to call Sam, I want to call John, what I'm doing is I'm just calling their name, and they're looking at me. So same thing with the networking devices. In order to have access to networking devices, in order to call networking devices, in order to see if you have connectivity to the networking devices, or in order to connect one network device to another network device, you really need to have an IP address. So as you can see, the router in the middle is performing a job, so you can connect two different local area networks together. So as you can see, in one side there is a local area network that is connected to the internet, meaning that this local area network, where we have client 1 and client 2 with 254.10, 254.10 is duplicate, so you can make it 254.11, my mistake. So what can you do is you can let those computers access the internet, but these computers can never access the internet directly because they are connected to the switch. Whenever the computers are connected to the switch, it means that they are connected locally and they have local area connection network. But in order to let those computers be able to connect to the internet, they need to have access, or they really need to have a device called router. Router connects two different networks together. So in order to connect, or in order to allow communication between two or more different networks or local area networks, you need to have a router. So as you can see that we have router inside. Router inside means that the switch is connected to the router, and then the switch is connected to the other computers which are part of the local area network, and then there is router outside. Router outside means that one interface of the router is connected to the switch which is inside, one interface of the router is connected to the DSL modem which is outside. So there are two things. Like if you notice that 10.10.254.1 is a private IP, 121.100.66.99 is a public IP. So whatever IP addresses that you see on the internet is a public IP address. Private IP addresses cannot be used on the internet, and public IP addresses cannot be used on the local area network. So in order to have, or in order to make sure that the local area network is able to go outside and access the internet, you really need to make sure that they are using public IP addresses. So this is a simple diagram that demonstrates a network between local area network and access to the internet. So the next question is, who is Cisco? That's one of the interesting questions and most important thing that everyone needs to know. Cisco is inventor of network devices such as routers, switches, firewalls, intrusion prevention system, and many other networking devices that can be part of the voice, that can be part of the routing switching, that can be part of the security devices. So Cisco is inventor for that, and Cisco is one of the top vendors for the networking, and everyone today is using Cisco as their network devices because it's more flexible, it's more secure, and it's more better than other network devices. I cannot say that more and more and more better because nowadays there are more or some other vendors that are in the market, so they also have got demands, but Cisco is one of the best vendors or that I have ever seen in my life. And one of the good things that it have is that whenever you start to study and you start to learn and you practice, you get more and more eager or interest. You have more and more interest to learn it and achieve your goals. And Cisco, the company was founded at 1984 by two computer scientists, scientists from Stanford University, seeking an easier way to connect different type of computer system. Like in before Cisco, like if you remember, we had some other type of networks, like how they were connecting was like through bus topology, coaxial cables, and you better know that by that time they were using terminator at the both sides. They were using repeaters, so it was like a network that was more difficult to set up, and there was a lot of problems in that. So that's why Cisco came up with a solution so that they can make the networking more easier. As we go further, we are gonna see more examples of what router switches do and how they work, so you will better understand then the difference between the routers and the switch and the hub and the repeater, and you will see what are the differences between those, like the devices that we were using before and the devices that we are using now, like a switch and router, and what are the benefits and what are the good things with that. So that's the end of this video. I hope you really liked the video and you have learned something. So that's the ending.